G'day and welcome to the channel. Welcome to Warhammer 40,000. Today, a double-sized battlefield for a very large game. Larger, in fact, than any game I've ever played before. It is 4,450 points of Orks versus 4,450 points of Tyranids. Shane from Games Workshop Morley has come down. He's brought his beautiful Tyranids along. They'll go very, very nicely in this terrain. Very nice color scheme. They'll be up against my Orks today. So I have fashioned a rather large Ork force to counter his large horde of Xenos. So yeah, as you can see here, it's a double-sized table. I've used two battle mats, both desert mats from gamemat.eu. I think Sands of Time is what it's called. Anyway, so I've exhausted all my desert terrain today, mixed and matched. You can see two ancient riverbeds running one down either side here. It is on this terrain today that blood will be shed. So let's get on and deploy. What we're going to do is, to save time for ourselves and for yourselves, we are going to deploy our armies. We'll then go through the units that we've decided to take on our sides and introduce you to the armies after deployment. So we'll go into mission and then we'll deploy and we can see the armies. All right, so the mission today is a very simple one. There are three objectives in the center line of the table here. Obviously it's a very long table. So if I zoom out a little bit here, you can see Shane setting up on that side of the table there. It's going to take us a while to set up. It's about, what, 250, 300 models to place? Something like that. Yeah. So you've got a line of dice on each side, so that's 24 inches in from the table edge, 24 inches between these two lines, and then another 24 inches over that side as well. So plenty of room. I guess these objectives will be worth a couple of points each, but I think they are mostly going to be ignored. It's going to be a bit of a bloodbath today. I think the objective is just to smash in and have fun. So there's going to be a lot of casualties today. We'll be taking them off on the fist load. So I'll come back to you when we've deployed and we'll have a look at what's in each army. All right, so we are deployed and it is looking tight on this table. We sort of just deployed simultaneously. We weren't too fussed about taking it in turns. Realistically, it's going to take a long time to play this game, so we're trying to save time where we can. But you can see Tyranids lined up all along, populating that table edge, and Orks are sort of concentrated in the middle around the stompy here. With a lot of mech going on either side. So we'll have a quick look at the armies and then we'll get started. So for the Orks, starting on the left here, we have a small squad of Gretchen. They have a runt herd with them as well. There is a battle wagon there with kill cannon and 4 rockets. Also has a hard case, Gork and Nort in the middle there, and a truck there with 9 knobs inside. You've got the 3 squads of 30 boys. They've all got a knob with power claw and 3 big shooters in each squad. Obviously now down here under the sword, the chainsaw, there's a knob there. I'm counting that as my big mech today. Just FYI, there is a burner bomb in there. And of course, the stomper that I finished painting last night in the middle. We've got the leadership in the center there. Here's Gib Smasher. There is the Weird Boy and the Doc on the left there as well. They'll be leading this army today. We have 3 mech guns. They are custom mega cannons. There is the kill tank with the kill cannon there. It is armed with the kill cannon, Scorcher and twin big shooters. We also have 2 Death Dreads here, one hiding behind the plant there. They've just got claws and no shooting ability on them. There is a squad of 6 killer cans. They all have rockets and claws. There's another truck there, and that has the Mega Knobs with saws as well. So that is 4,444 points of Orks, Give Smashers Skull Crackers. Alright, so here is Shane's 4,450 point Tyranid list. It is Hive Fleet Violator. There are lots of tentacles in this list. Okay, so we're just going to start on the left here. What do we got here, Shane?
Alright, so we've got a full brood of Raveners with rending claws. There's no thorax weapons at all, just all close combat. We've got a unit of 30 Hormagaunts at the front here. No upgrades. Got a Neurothrope, which has the Horror. And Smite, of course. We have 3 Screamer Killers, all stock standard, with the exception of the Spore Cysts on their backs. We got Old One Eye at the back here. We got 6 Venom Thropes. Yeah, no upgrades, they can't have any. Then we've got 3 broods of Tyranid Warriors in here. We've got 1 with all close combat weapons.
That's crazy.
So Bone Swords, Lash Hoops, Rending Claws, all kinds of weapons. We have 1 that's full of Devourers and 3 Barbed Stranglers. Then we have these ones are all Death Spitters and 3 Venom Cannons. And in the middle, there's a Tyranid Prime to lead them. They got 30 Hormagaunts in the front there. Go across another unit of 30 Hormagaunts, which is protecting 3 Toxicreens. These are the big fellas. We got 2 Tyranofexes at the back here as well with Rupture Cannons. We have 6 Hive Guard hidden in the back here. Another unit of 6 Venom Thropes. Then right on the side we have my Hive Tyrant. He's my Warlord. Because I'm doing Hive Fleet Kraken, he's got the Chameleon Mutation Carapace, so you're -1 to shoot at him. Then he's got 6 Tyrant Guard with him as well, and then a big unit of 20 Gene Stealers. Yeah, no upgrades. And and I got a Mutant Spore and some Spore Mines to drop down. They'll just so I can get a brigade.
Yeah, nice. Yep, smart. Alright, so there we go. That is 4,450 points of Tyranids. What detachments did you take?
It's a Brigade and a Spearhead.
Brigade and a Spearhead. Okay, yep. So I took
13 CP.
13. Okay, 13 command points on Shane's side. There's only 7 on the Orcs side. I took a battalion and what's the heavy support one?
Oh, Spearhead.
Spearhead, yeah, okay. So I've only got 7 command points in total on the Orc side, but the battle is set. We are ready to go. Now,
we're not using the Tyranid stratagems either to make it fair.
Yeah, okay. So the Orcs don't have a codex yet, and even though the chapter approved did give the Orcs a couple of stratagems, we're going to discount all stratagems apart from the rulebook stratagems today. So only re-rolling dice and morale and taking priority in combat. That's about it. Just to make it fair, because I know there's a hell of a lot of good Tyranid stratagems that could be used, and the Orcs basically don't have any. So, okay, so +1 to me to go first because I had less units to deploy. So yeah, hopefully.
Yep, you got it.
I got it. Okay. All right, I got it. I don't know what I'm going to do first turn against that, but we'll see. So I'll go into moving, and there's a lot to move, so it's going to take forever. Okay, so turn 1 for Orc movement is complete. I basically stayed here with everything. Except for a few units I want to shoot this turn. I'm basically going to await the Horde to reach my lines before I start moving forward. Shooting is going to be pretty bad from the Orcs at best, so I think just doing what I can in the first turn and hold back is the best option. So Killer Cans move forward just within range of the Raveners there. They've got rockets they can shoot off there. The kill tank didn't move, nor did the truck there. Everything in this center stayed still except for the burner bomber. That's gone forward. It's going to try and eliminate some of those gene stealers. The truck, sorry, not truck, battle wagon did move forward, and the Gretchen moved up as well. They ran forward. So there's a few things in here with range. So we've got range here, we've got range here, we've got range here, we've got range with Gorkanaut and these units here. So I think we should be able to do a little bit of shooting, maybe just enough to whittle down the bodies as they come towards us. So we'll go into shooting for Orks, turn 1. We'll see what sort of chaos we can bring about on the violating fleet. Okay, so Orc shooting for turn 1 is done. Pretty lackluster, but that's Orks for you. I was actually a little bit silly. I didn't measure whether I got the battle wagon in range of the monster there or not for 24 inches, so I was an inch out. So he just took out a couple of gaunts there. Did I take out one gene stealer?
You killed a gene stealer.
Yay! Okay, yeah. So that was shooting from the burner bomber down at the gene stealers there. Ended up taking out one gene stealer. He saved a couple of other gene stealers with his invulnerable dodge save. A lot of shooting came through to the monster over here. What's that? Toxicrine. He's on 1 wound. I couldn't shave that last wound off, so I didn't get first blood there. But that's pretty good. That's 11 wounds taken off of him. And over here, I took how many wounds off of him? 4 wounds off of the Carnifex over there. And apart from that, that was it. And obviously no assaults to come. But we're going to go into Shane's first turn. The Tyranids, I know they're a quick army, so they should be able to cover this 24-inch ground in the middle pretty quickly if Shane wants them to. So we'll go on to Tyranids turn 1. And Emperor help us all, said the Orc. Oops, Gork and Mork help us all. Okay, Tyranids turn 1. Alrighty, so Tyranid movement is done. We've also done the psychic phase as well. As you can see, pretty much most of the horde has moved quite close. So setting up for a charge here, I think, early on in the game, but everything except for the, what are they at the back?
Hive Guard and Tyranids.
Hive Guard, Tyranids. Okay, they haven't moved. Everything else has skimmed forward. Gene Stealers as well, quite close to the grots. So closing in quite quickly as expected. A few charges to come off this turn. For Psychic Phase, the Horror was cast here on the Killicans, so they are -1 to hit and also -1 leadership for the turn. Catalyst was cast on the Gene Stealers, much to my dismay. I hate Gene Stealers. So they've got a 5-up invul and a 5-up feel no pain roll as well. So very sturdy unit, unfortunately. Oh, Spore Mines as well.
So come later.
Okay, so Spore Mines will come later. And then you didn't do Onslaught, did you?
No.
No, okay, no Onslaught. So that is movement and Psychic Phase over for Tyranids. We're going to go on to shooting now. They are very, very good at shooting as well. So very interesting to see exactly what they can do in this phase. And as I said before, there's a lot of charges lined up here as well. So we'll go on to shooting for turn 1 Tyranids. Okay, so Tyranids have completed shooting for turn 1. Went okay, better than the Orks, of course, but not too bad. So rupture cannons over here fired across. One fired at the truck, and oh, they both fired at the truck. Okay, both fired at the truck and destroyed the truck. The Meganogs got out. They're okay. No one hurt there. Fire came through from the heavy venom cannon. Yep. Okay, so 3 wounds on the Gorkanaut there. Over on the battle wagon here, that was fire from the Hive Guard. Yep. That's what they're called, right? Cool. Trying to remember all these Tyranid names. So 3 damage through to the battle wagon there. No fire at the Stomper. Good enough. That still got 40 wounds, which is nice. And a bit of fire coming through from the, what's that, acid spray? bioplasmic stream from the Carnifexes.
Yeah.
Right. So that's 4 damage on the lead killer can there. So that was shooting. Oh yeah, true. Okay, so more shooting came through from the Barb Stranglers across to this first squad of 30 boys, reduced to 20 boys, 10 killed in that. So, okay, so yeah, no leadership morale check to do for them. They are very, very safe there in amongst the rest of their mob. So assault phase is coming up. Shane says there's only 1 assault to come. I thought there were more, but it's these horrible things over here. The Gene Stealers are going to assault through. I assume they're going into the grots? Yeah, okay. All right, so assault phase is over. Foregone conclusion for those poor little grots. They got absolutely smashed. We didn't even roll for it. It was 19 times 4 attacks against little strength, toughness 2 grots that had no save. So we just removed them from the table. The Runt Herder was then advanced on. He is stuck in there in combat. And the Gene Stealers over here did also advance onto the battle wagon there, so that'll have to move out of combat and won't be able to shoot in the following turn. Other cheesy part is I won't be able to retreat with the Runt Herder, which means I won't be able to shoot at these damn Gene Stealers in the coming turn. So I'm going to have to get into combat with them and deal with them that way. Okay, so we'll go on to Orks turn 2. And this entire front line is about to swarm forward. Let's see what the Orks can reply with. They are very, very angry. Rightio, Orks turn 2 movement is over. Things are getting very, very close together. Killer Cans moved up there. The Knobs disembarked and moved forward as well. The Death Dreads moved forward along with the Kill Tank. The only thing that stayed still in this army is indeed the custom mega cannons there. Stomper and all of the boys have rushed forward as fast as they can. I didn't roll too well on their advanced moves, only 2 inches advanced with them, and with them as well. I used a command point to re-roll that and then rolled another 2. So GG. This guy's went 4 inches forward. Gorkanaut moved forward. The big mech has followed him along, just about to find out if he can repair some hull points on him, or wounds, sorry. And the mega knobs have moved forward as well. I had to pull out of combat with the battle wagon. Actually, I could have stayed in because I'm not going to shoot. Okay, anyway, that's fine. So we're going to go into shooting. There is quite a lot of shooting to... Oh, yes, thank you, Shane. And the burner bomber has moved over from here. So he's moved all the way over these units here. So we're going to drop a bomb on one of these units there and various other shooty things. So we'll go into shooting for the Orks. There is quite a lot to do, so we'll see what sort of damage we can do before we smash into their lines. Okie dokie, so Ork shooting again, pretty abysmal, but we are getting into the combat side of things. So shooting came off, one of the rockets came through from these guys and took out a Ravener. Shooting from the burster cannon here as well, only took out 1. Took out a couple of gaunts here with flamers and sluggers from these guys as well, from this squad. None of the boys could shoot. We are -1 to hit for advancing, and also -1 to hit because of the venom throats on that side. So they couldn't shoot at all. The Stomper did shoot through at the warriors in the middle here. I only took off 2 wounds from one of the warriors there, so pretty shit. Okay, Gorkanaut did fire through finally at the Tuxcrine there, and took his last wound off with a well-placed rocket, which is nice to see. So he finally took off a model from the table. Now we're going on to assaults. There is pretty much this entire front line to go ahead and assault. So lots of assaults to come. I don't think there's much Overwatch because all of what I'm assaulting is just Hormagaunts. So we'll go into assaults, hopefully a better phase for the Orks as they smash through into the lines. Okay, so assault phase for Orks turn 2 is over. Over here, the only things remaining is 2 little gaunts hidden in here. That was striking from these 3 units here, almost wiped them out. Unfortunately, didn't quite get through them all. Failed to charge with this one into the squad back here. A little bit too far out, even with the reroll, and same for these boys here. We're actually trying to get into these gaunts as well. So these 2 squads did charge forward and they wiped out the Hormagaunts there, sorry. Did not consolidate forward for the simple fact that I don't think I need to get any closer. And over here, I should have attacked with the the Gorkanaut first. The Gene Stealers managed to get through 9 wounds onto the Gorkanaut before he attacked back. That was Shane interrupting play with a stratagem there, 2 command points. But I did kill...
How many's left?
How many was it? I think it was 9 that I killed.
I'd say you killed 8 and then 2 ran away.
Okay, so yeah, all right.
So 3, 6, 9. Yep. So
yep. Okay, so I killed 8 and then 2 ran away, which is good, but still there's a lot of power left in them.
That's not a Broodlord. People might think it's a Broodlord.
Yeah, okay, that is not a Broodlord. That is just a Gene Stealer, and that wound is on the Mega Knob there. Okay, no other combats took place. Not too bad. A good frontal attack from the Orks, but they do have a lot to weather in the coming turns. We'll see how Shane fares on his second turn. Okay, Tyranids movement and psychic phase is done for turn 2. Basically, what you can see here is everything's moved out of combat. He's using the HIVE fleet Kraken rules, I guess, that allows them to retreat from combat and then charge back into combat that same turn. So everything that was in combat has come out of combat, and everything that wasn't in combat has moved forward into combat range. So basically this entire front line is set up to charge, except for the heavies in the background there. You've got the Hive guard. Yep. Okay, in the back there, and they are going to stay there. Now Psychic Phase was done. The Horror was cast onto the knobs here, and that was from the Neurothrope, and also Smite came from the Neurothrope as well, and took out the wounded killer can and put 2 wounds onto this can there, so that was a good one. And across here, Catalyst was cast on the Hive Tyrant by himself, just to protect him in combat there, and Onslaught was put onto the warriors just here, because they had to run, so they'll be able to shoot as well. I think that's it. Shooting phase is coming up. I assume everything's pretty much going to shoot where possible. So we'll go on to that. I think it's going to be pretty devastating. Okie dokie, shooting phase, pretty devastating from the Tyranids. It's pretty hard to remember where everything's exactly come from, but quite a lot of shooting from these guys. So it's not technically shooting, but it's their whips, I guess. Yes. They lash out and do a bit of damage there. So another 6 wounds lost on the Gorkanaut there from them, unfortunately. 1825 wounds was caused on the Stomper here, and that was from the Rupture Cannons there. And they also fired through to the boys and took off quite a few boys from the units there as well. Yeah, so these warrior squads here all fired through to these 2 boys squads here, and also contributed to a few losses there as well. But they're still holding strong, those boys. There's still quite a few on there, so not too bad. Nothing across here. That was all done in the Psychic Phase. Oh, sorry, there are 6 wounds off here. Yeah, from these guys. Okay, so they took off 6 wounds from him. He's only on 2 wounds left, unfortunately. And over here, the Bioplasma did fire through and knocked out another one of the killer cans. Okay, so the Hive Guard back in the corner over there, fired up at the flyer there, took off 5 wounds. That was good shooting from them, especially with the -1 to hit. Now, as you can see, there's a few piles of bodies here, so we're just keeping track of how many are lost. We're going to go into Assault Phase now. Now, pretty much this entire line is set to charge. There'll be a lot of Overwatch, but I think there's going to be carnage that follows it. We'll go on to Assault Phase for turn 2 for Tyranids. It's going to be a pretty eventful phase, I think. A lot of death coming. The Orks will not back down, though. They're not afraid. They're having fun.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's probably true. Okay, so yeah, let's check it out. Okie dokie, Assault Phase is over for the Tyranid, only turn 2. We've been here for a few hours. There's a lot of dice to roll in this phase. Okay, right, so unfortunately, Boy Squad here destroyed by the Hormagaunts. Come through? Yes, they finished off there. They actually, the last 4 ran off. They failed their morale even with the War Boss there, who's actually uncannily only Leadership 8, even though he's a War Boss. Over here, also lost a squad of boys here. That was the Warriors getting through to them. I don't think we caused any damage in return from them. These guys here did fight back and caused a couple of wounds on the Tyrant Guard. but for the most part that squad did get destroyed. I had to use two command points to auto pass those guys, otherwise I would not, they would have been wiped out. They lost 21 in one turn. Over here, a bit of a fail on the Tyranids side. They failed to take off the last few wounds of Gorkanaut. In fact, they didn't scratch it at all until the very last moment they put a mortal wound onto him.
Toxic miasma.
Toxic miasma. Okay, so he did strike back. He managed to cause 4 wounds on this Toxicron there. Over here, I killed one Gene Stealer, and he caused one wound to me there. So it was an even combat just there. Fancy that. Now across this side of the table, you'll notice 10 warriors are gone. Was it 9 or 10?
Yeah, 9.
Yeah, it was 9. Okay, so they charged into the 2 guys here, the 2 Death Dreads, and they got wiped out by the Death Dreads. This one is still with 1 wound left. He failed to take that one off, but the knobs are gone. That was attacks from the... One Eye, yeah. One Eye actually killed, 6 of them on his own, which is pretty amazing. So they eventually run off as well. They failed their morale, and there's only 1 Killer Cane left. They did manage to take out one of the Carnifex on their way out. And I think they wounded this one here as well. So one of those eventually ran off as well. So looking pretty grim for the Orks on this side. Still a little bit of fight in them. Obviously with the Stomper there, still in the fight. So we'll go on to Ork turn 3 and see what we can reply with. Yeah, we've just been discussing the codexes. Obviously the Orks don't have one. I've been a little bit whingy today because I've got no special rules to help the Orks out. Whereas the Nids have plenty which can help them out in various situations. But it's a tough fight anyway for the Nids anyway. There's still a lot of wounds on the table here for the Orks, regardless, and a bit of firepower and a bit of choppy. So we'll go into Ork turn 3. It's been a long game and a long day for us, but we will smash on. There is more to kill and more to crush, and the Orks are just getting more keen. Yeah, right. So turn 3 movement for Orks is done. I have stayed in combat here with the Gorkanaut and the Battle Wagon there. I think that's the smartest thing to do. 6 attacks on the Battle Wagon, it's pretty good. So we'll keep him in there. Stayed in combat with these boys here as well. Over here, Stomper has moved up, setting up to shoot and charge probably the Warriors, I'd say. The War Boss and the 2 other leadership team there are staying in combat there with the Gaunts as well. Over here, I moved up with the remaining Death Dread that was out of combat. He's set to charge as well, and also the truck's coming in to try and finish off those 2 Gaunts there that are in combat as well. Over here with the cannons, we are set to fire. There's a few units that are out of combat, more particularly the Warriors here, so they're a viable target for them. And I've moved up with the Kill Tank as well. He's actually pretty good in combat. He's got a really good ability with his ramming ram on the front of the tank there. So he'll actually be really good on the charge, so hopefully he gets charge off. And he can move and shoot at full ballistic skill, which is cool. The Flyer did move over these units here. He's going to drop his last bomb on there and possibly shoot at the spores that are over the other side of the field there. I think it should be a good turn. Hopefully we'll be able to kill a few things. It is a bit swung in the Tyranids' favour currently, but I hope I can even it out a little bit in this turn, especially before Shane gets another turn to smash some Orks. So we'll go on to shooting phase for the Orks, turn 3. Alright, so shooting phase for Orks turn 3 has been done. Pretty straightforward, not a lot happened. The Flyer did fly over the Raveners there, dropped a bomb and knocked off one of them. Oh no, 2 wounds of one of the Raveners there. The kill burster cannon went through to this Carnifex here and knocked off 3 wounds from him. Combined fire from a few units, so the Stomper, the cannons down here, and this little big shooter there fired through to the warriors and took out how many? 4?
Almost 5.
Yep. Okay, so 4 and a bit over there, and that was all the shooting done. So not a lot came off. What?
Spore mines.
Oh, okay. So
balls.
the toughness one, spore mines, 30 points, were destroyed by the Daka fire coming from the burner bomber there. So just a bit of fire. I figure, they might sneak up on the flanks of these guys and start exploding. I don't like that, so they're gone. Anyway, that's a 30-point loss to the Tyranids. They'll never forget. Never recover from. No. Okay, so we're going to go into assaults now. I am going to charge the kill tank in, the Def Dread, the truck, Stomper, and everything else is already in combat. So, okay, let's see what they can do. Rightio, so Orks turn 3 assault phase has been complete. Did end up taking out the Toxicrine here. That was fighting from the Gorgonaut come through. In return though, he did lose another wound. Unfortunately, over here, 3 more wounds taking off there by the Jane Stealers. I did not do any damage in return. Over here, pretty poor from the Stomper there. I only ended up taking out a couple of warriors there. Over here, I did this Def Dread that is still on 1 wound, and Shane can't seem to get through that last wound. But he did actually take out 4.
4 or 5. Yeah, 4. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 of the Toxa, whatever they are. Venom throats. Okay, right. And over here, the killer can exploded and took out one of the Raveners, and also took a wound off of this and the Carnifex there. So the Carnifex is actually only on 3 wounds left. Old One Eye. Oh, hey, what?
Yeah, they're all wounded, all of these Carnifexes.
Ah, okay, yeah, everyone's wounded there. Okay, Old One Eye did actually smack the hell out of the fresh Def Dread that assaulted this turn. Did something like 18 wounds or 12 wounds or something ridiculous to it. Much to be expected from Old One Eye. He's a bit of a cowboy. So over here, the boys were unfortunately destroyed there. They did take a wound or 2 off of the Tyrant Guard there, so didn't do too bad on their way out. Apart from that, it's looking pretty poor for the Orks. The Gorgonaut is below half wounds, and obviously the Gorgonaut's on his way out. Battle Wagon's struggling, but holding his ground. Gibb Smasher's in trouble, but we'll see. He's having fun, that's the main thing. And over here, still, even though everything's wounded, over this side, I think the favour is in the Tyranids side there. So we'll go on to Shane's turn 3. We'll see, coming into the closing turns of the game, we'll see what he can get up to. Remembering his ability for his Hive fleet Kraken to be able to get out of combat and back in again. So I'm sure we'll see him do that, so that he can shoot at my units. Okay, going on to Shane's Tyranids turn 3. Right, so Shane's turn 3, movement and psychic phase is over. So you can see he's broken, actually, no, he hasn't broken out of combat here at all.
I don't get out.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, so yeah, all right, so the Carnifex has moved back out of combat there, and he's been surrounded by the the Raveners there. So Smite was cast by the Neurothroat into the Def Dread, auto-destroyed it. It was only on 1 wound, did not explode, but then he rolled Perils again to cast Horror onto the plane up there. But luckily, being a neurothrope, he can re-roll ones. So he re-rolled those 2 ones and passed the Horror. So the plane is now horrid, and this flank is now in trouble. Across here, did not pull out of combat with these guys. Move these guys around here. I think he's going to have a go at shooting the cannons over here. Moved out of combat with that squad from the Stomper and moved forward with the Guard and the Venom Throats there. Pulled out of combat here as well. I assume to go back into combat again. Did not pull out of combat here with the Gene Stealers. So yeah, Stomper's actually in trouble. He got smited just then by the Hive Tyrant, and he took 1 wound off there. So he's actually now on 10 wounds left on the Stomper. And I don't think there's much he's going to survive this turn. There's still those 2 over there. They get to shoot twice. They're quite dangerous. And he's got the Hive Guard as well. Shooting coming up for the Tyranids. It's desperate times here for the Orks. Gibbs Smasher, distracted, crushing bugs. He can't see all around him that his army has dissolved away. So yeah, let's see what happens. Gibbs Smasher will continue smashing gits, and we'll see his army drop around him. Okie dokie, ladies and gentlemen, the shooting phase for the Tyranids. Turn 3 is over. Righty, so as you can see, chalked up a bit of wounds on this one. That was fire from the Rupture Cannons over here. Ended up taking off 6 wounds on its own. That was pretty nasty. Fire coming through from the other Rupture Cannon to the Stomper there. Actually took off 6 wounds as well. Oh no, that was the Hive Tyrant. Okay, so the Venom Cannon fired through from the Hive Tyrant. Took off 6 wounds. 3 more wounds come off on from the Hive Guard, okay. And the other Hive Guard fired through over to the Gorkanaut, which did unfortunately disappear. So the poor mech is left standing there, stranded in the middle of nowhere. Happy to fix something, but he's run out of things to fix. So actually, the Stomper is now on just 1 wound. So he's not doing too well. We did actually receive a wound that was shooting from the Venom Throat that come through to the truck here. Was that a mortal wound?
Big gun too. My testicle.
My testicle is hanging on my wire.
We call him Lance Armstrong's missing testicle.
Funny. Okay, all right, yes. So the Warriors fired through and actually took out one of the fresh ones and wounded the already wounded cannon there as well. Okay, so yeah, looking pretty thin on the table here for Orks. So this one is only on 6 wounds remaining. The Flyer is actually on 4 wounds remaining, I believe. And yeah, Stomper on 1, and over here, this is actually not doing too bad. He's only down 1 bracket, which is okay for the Battle Wagon. Still got assaults to come up, and it doesn't look too healthy for the Orks. I have a fear that the Stomper may see his last days in the next phase. And explode. Hopefully it explodes. If you can see top down, there is a lot of bugs around here. Unfortunately, Gibbs Smasher is there too, but he's survived worse. Okie dokie. So this is how this game will end. End of turn 3, Tyranid assault phase. There is a gigantic shadow that is now disappeared. The Stomper was indeed slain. The final wound taken off by the Hive Tyrant there in combat, and unfortunately the Stomper didn't explode. We did both want it to explode for various different reasons.
Even command reroll.
Yeah,
command point.
Shane wanted to donate a command point to reroll the Stumper explosion, but he rolled a 2 as well, so Stumper did not explode. Okay, the kill tank did actually die as well. That was attacks from Old One Eye, who finished him off with not too much trouble at all. So he did not explode either. No damage on the truck there. He delivered out no damage in return either. But it is grim. It's grim for the Orks, and I am going to call a concede. I don't usually back out of a fight, but I think the result is fairly clear here. There are a lot of bugs left on the table. It's been a hard fight for both sides. We've lost a lot of units, and it's been a pretty fun game considering the size. It has been a pretty quick one. As I said, well, only so it's only turn 3, so obviously we could have kept playing, but I don't see the point. There's not much I can do from here on. But thank you very much to Shane for coming down with his beautiful Tyranids and laying down the law on my first large double table-sized battle. We could have called it Apocalypse game, but we didn't use the Apocalypse rules, so I'll refrain from that. It's always fun. Crushing bugs, isn't it, Gib Smasher? He survived all the way through, only 1 wound, not too bad. Didn't do much, but he had fun nonetheless. And I'll be adding a few skulls to his base tonight. So, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next game. Cheers guys, this is Emperor's Crusade, signing out.